Mmatshilo Motsei had lost everything. Her upmarket house in Pretoria was gone and her luxury car repossessed. She returned to White River, the place she loves most, and moved to an informal settlement.
It's interesting that White River and the Lawveld is a place of refuge for me. Every time when my soul needs nurturing, I always come here. Many people, particularly who are living in a rat race, cannot imagine staying for days without your cell phone ringing. So I was also in that space where days went without any contact, any communication. So I was in isolation, I was called to this space where I needed to reflect deeply on my own.
Financially stricken and battling her inner and outer struggles, Mmatshilo reached out to the few friends she could count on. Kukin Nkambule, who she'd met years earlier in White River while studying nursing, rallied at her side. She was shocked at the change she saw in Mmatshilo and reeled at the difference between her life in Gauteng and the space she was in now.
I couldn't believe the type of house that Mmatshilo lived in, because she's this type of woman who used to live in estates in Joburg. I'm telling you. And when I was comparing the two, I couldn't just match the two. But that's where Mmatshilo Motsei comes from. She was this person whom like an injured lion. She will just, also hurt other people. I'll call her to order, because if there's one thing that I'm good at with Mmatshilo, she's such a powerful woman that I believe that even her relatives cannot tell her whether she's wrong, that she's wrong. But I'm one person who can tell her that, my friend, here, no, you're out of order. And she will cry and say, Kuki, you are my real friend, because you are the only one who can tell me that I'm wrong.
She and I have been challenged in different ways. And we have therefore become pillars of strength for each other. She knows me from the time when, before I was even a feminist and an activist. And she saw me when I went through the hard times, and she was there for me.
There were times where, she was moving from pillar to post, having to move from this house to this house because she couldn't afford this house, she couldn't afford... there was a day when she told me that she had only porridge and jelly in her house.
I cried a lot. I was alone most of the time. And I know the feeling of going to bed without having something to eat. I know it. I know that feeling. I never went to bed without food when I was a child, because I was raised by parents who were able to provide for me. But at this time, I know what it's like. I had to kind of even think back about the time when I was doing health education. The kind of things that we say about poor people and the kind of food that they eat. We have a lot to say about the fact that all they eat is pap, even in the morning. But when I lived there with them, amongst them, I understood that that's all they have. And the idea is to eat so that you can fill your tummy. And if you're going to tell me about macronutrients and vitamins and all of those things, I don't know what you're talking about, because all I want to do is to keep the hunger pangs off. The interesting thing is that I had friends in high places because of the kind of work that I was doing. And I phoned and asked for help. And a few of them that I phoned promised to help, but they didn't.
For Mmatshilo, the experience was shocking and humbling. A woman who for decades had fought for the rights of others now needed help herself. And then, while living in part of a church building in Bushbuckridge, Mmatshilo met her neighbour, Ma Violet, who ran a feeding scheme for 56 orphans. Violet would be the person who would help Mmatshilo leap into a whole new perspective on life.
She has a very small kitchen and 2 benches and 1 or 2 cupboards. She's got the kind of kitchen that when you step into it, you know that you will not find much in terms of food to eat. But when we walked towards the gate, she stood up. She came to meet us at the gate. And that, for me, is a sign of wealth.
Mom Violet, when you saw Mmatshilo for the first time, what did you think?
Mmatshilo, ke ile ga mmotsa taba eo ya gore Mmatshilo le ge o tlhoka o sokola o lla. One day is one day o tlo khutsa Mmatshilo. Solanka wena o rapela Modimo a shitere Mmatshilo. Modimo ka tšetleng wa tlo go homoletsa. A re mmana ke tshepe ka re tia Mmatshilo. A tia Mmatshilo a fela a dula le nna.
You were in a terrible space, and then an angel comes along and shows you a different way to experience your space.
When we left, she said something to me that has stuck. Always. She said to me, "My child, when you need anything, let me know." That was like a light bulb. If you look in the small little kitchen, if you look at her and her broken chairs, you will see a poor woman. But she's not operating from poverty mentality. She's operating from abundance.
Ke gore nna ge ke thusha motho e mongwe e pele ya ka e ba e tshweu ke kwa ke na le lerato la go thusha motho ke sa nabele gore a ka tla a mpha something sa gore a re go nna danki mara ge ke thushie motho ke kwa ke le free ke gore ke kwa ke jabola pelong yaka bjale ka ge ke godisa bana ba di-orphan ba ke sa ba tsebeng go nna pelong yaka go jalo ya ke ka mokgwa ke yeng ka thusha Mmatshilo nako nngwe le nngwe ke ge a tia Mmatshilo ke kwa mfounela gore mmane ke so.
The one major shift that has happened in my life is realizing that we actually do not need the many things that we surround ourselves with. It was almost like a strong foundation for me that I live next to someone who is solid and someone that I can hold on to, and that I shouldn't see myself as poor just because my material possessions have been stripped away. And that's the leap that I learned from them, because they live literally on nothing. But you should hear them laugh. They laugh from the belly. There is no need for Prozac. They do not need antidepressants. They don't need to go and see a psychologist. They don't worry about what's happening tomorrow. They deal with life as it is now.
Are you able to do this and do this for me? We are able to do this and do this for you.
While Mmatshilo and her youngest son stayed in White River, her older children continued with their lives in Johannesburg. Although they don't see their mum often, their special bond continues.
When she was in the dark space and she had to come face to face with who she really was, she realized, this is me and I'm going to make me work. Whatever I'm going to do from this point, it's going to be from the core of who I am.
Her name, Mmatshilo. Tsilo is derived from grinding stone. I'd like to think of that period that she went through in 2010 to be a period where she was being ground, so to speak, refined. She is fearless, you know? She doesn't waste time on things that she can't control. She's a lot more focused. She's very determined. And what I'm learning from that is that I can basically be anything I want to be. I can do anything I want to do.
I want us to, at this point, focus on one good thing that is going on in your life right now. I have now started running healing circles. The essence of the seminar and the groups is to say, don't waste your time crying to be loved by someone else. The love has to start with you. One of the things, the affirmations that I do in groups with women, a simple statement like, I have everything that I need in my life right now. And that's why when I say that mantra, I hold on to the fact that I'm taken care of. And whatever I need today, I have. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. My needs might change, but I also know that tomorrow I'll have what I need. I think the biggest lesson, Lisa, those women taught me love. They taught me love, and I've come to a place where I realize that there is no need to struggle about anything in life. Hence, my slogan now is the struggle discontinues. So my leap of faith is that in spite of what I have lost, and I say lost in inverted commas, in spite of what I have lost, I have gained immensely.
I think once you've accepted your situation and once you take responsibility for whatever has happened to you, then once my mom did that for herself, then she told us, I have lost everything. So right now, at this point, I have nothing to lose. So why not live out my dreams? Why not be great? Why not take the leap of faith?